What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the RGR Football channel. My name is Daniel Harms. This is the game plan video. I'm going to come at you with my 4 points for this game. Then we're going to have Gary at primer for you guys against the Seattle Seahawks. I want to talk a little bit about the injury report. We do know that the Chiefs will be without both Jody Fortson, most likely Colin Saunders, who's doubtful with an illness, Jody out with an elbow injury, and then Mike Dana and Deion Bush are both questionable with an illness. On Seattle's side, they are missing three players: starting safety and defensive tackle Al Woods, safety Ryan Neal, wide receiver Tellock. I know that was a little confusing, but they're going to be without those guys. Questionable for them: running back Kenneth Walker, tight end Noah Fant, wide receiver Marquise Goodwin, and running back DJ Dallas. We don't know if any of those guys will play, if at all. So just want to cap that off. Let's get into my key points. The very first one we're going to talk about: turnovers. The Chiefs have been not good. Let's just say that in the turnover department total this year on both ends of the football. They haven't turned the ball over a ton. They have 8 interceptions and 7 fumbles on the season for a total of 15 total takeaways. And they have given the ball up 21 times. They have 11. They've thrown 11 interceptions and have 10 fumbles on the season. The last game we saw, they had 2 fumbles. They can't be having these many turnovers if they want to win football games. You can't have a -6 turnover differential and win football games. That just, it doesn't work very much. Specifically, you can't win playoff games with that kind of turnover differential. So hopefully we see the Chiefs really emphasize taking care of the football against the Seattle Seahawks, because they cannot continue to do this. The Seahawks are actually +1 this season. They have 21 total takeaways, 20 turnovers. So they're kind of in the same department with the amount of turnovers they've had this season as the Chiefs. Can't do that. You have to take care of the football. Got to find ways to make their own turnovers in this game. Number 2, this is a defense you can absolutely take advantage of. The Chiefs are 24th in defensive DVOA on the season. The Seahawks are right behind them at 25th, and they have the 28th worst rush defense in the NFL, according to DVOA. It's time to take advantage of that. I know Isaiah Pacheco's had his fumble problems. He and Jerick McKinnon are going to be asked and tasked against the Seattle Seahawks to be the focal point, at least to some extent. We know Patrick is still going to throw the ball around all over the place because that's just what the offense does. But they have to be able to take advantage this week against the 28th worst rushing defense in the NFL. Without a nose tackle, without a safety, this defense isn't very good. I would love to see Jerick McKinnon continue to have this sustained success that we've seen over the course of the last 3 weeks. Ever since Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt, Jerick's come in and been a huge point of this rushing game and this entire offense. So Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon are going to play a big role in this game. Number 3, this really comes down to having some fun. I really do think, the Chiefs now clinched their spot. They've clinched the AFC West. They are in the playoffs. They got to find ways to start having more fun. They've been in really close games against bad teams the last 2 weeks. The Seahawks, by any stretch, are not a terrible team, but they do have some injuries. Tyler Lockett's going to be hurt. Geno Smith's playing the best football of his career. They've lost 4 out of the last 5 games, and they do have susceptibility to be not just run on, but physically dominated on the offensive side of the football. Their offensive line's not very good. You can get to Geno Smith. He's not an immobile quarterback, but he's not exactly, I wouldn't say he's Patrick Mahomes. He can run the ball a little bit, but without Tyler Lockett, you're really being forced into DK Metcalf. Double DK Metcalf and take advantage of this offense. Have some fun. Get some takeaways. You're at home. Just, like I said, have some fun with this game. You're going into the postseason. Let's find a way for the Chiefs to be able to get a hold of this, have some fun, and win this game against the Seattle Seahawks. And finally, what this comes down to, my biggest point for this game: it's going to be cold, and the Seahawks, yes, they're down, but they are still trying to make the playoffs, okay? We've said this week after week after week. Travis and his brother have talked about trap games. This isn't a trap game per se, but again, you're in the postseason. The Seahawks are fighting for their life. They're going to have a little bit more fire than the Chiefs will. You have to find a way to match that. Execution on offense. We talked about the turnovers. Execution on offense, execution on defense are going to be the huge focal points in this game. This could be a very high-scoring game. The Chiefs' defense can be attacked in the middle of the field very regularly, and I think that the Seahawks are going to try and do that, much replicate that like they've done against teams in the past when they were on their 4 or 5 game winning streak. The Chiefs' execution on defense and offense is going to be huge. If Kenneth Walker is active, they're going to look to establish the run with him, even though that offensive line hasn't been good. Like, I'm going to keep saying it. Execution. If they execute, they score a ton of points, and this game's never close. They don't execute, this game comes down to a field goal touchdown at the end of the game. Do we all want to see that? No. But again, find a way to win, survive, and advance. It's going to be cold on Saturday. Whew, very cold. It's already cold here. Like, we're going to see this at a completely different game. So execute, play your game. Don't let the Seahawks force you to do something that you don't want to do. Don't turn the ball over. Everything will be fine. That's all for the game plan, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this Christmas Eve game. Spend a great day on Christmas, on Sunday with your family. Have football on in the background, but we'll go live after the game. You guys can have Sunday. We'll be back with you on Monday. But right now, here's Gary with the Stat Primer.
All right, now let's hit the stat primer. This is the 53rd matchup between the Chiefs and the Seahawks during the regular season. The Chiefs are 33-19 versus the Seahawks in the regular season. The last game these two teams faced off was in 2018, where the Chiefs lost by a score of 31-38. Coach Reed is 1-1 versus the Seahawks during his time at Kansas City, and Mahomes is 0-1 versus Seattle. You hope to see Mahomes get his first victory versus the Seahawks this coming Sunday. As far as the offensive comparison goes for these two teams, both teams have a pretty good offense. In terms of yards per play, the Chiefs are number 1 in the NFL, while Seattle's number 4. In terms of passing yards per play, the Chiefs are number 1 with 7.5 yards per pass attempt, while the Seahawks are number 8 in the NFL with 6.6 net passing yards per attempt. So both team has a decent passing offense, while the Chiefs have a little bit better passing team, a little better offensively. The Seahawks are no slouch on the offensive side of the ball. One area where both teams have struggled on the offensive side has been their turnover percentage. The Chiefs are 22nd in the NFL with a turnover in their possessions 11.6% of the time. Seattle is 25th in the NFL, turning the ball over 11.9% of their drives. Both teams score over 25 points. The Chiefs are number 1, scoring 29.6 points per game, while the Seahawks are number 7, scoring 25.4 points per game. In terms of red zone conversion percentage, the Chiefs are 6th in the NFL, while the Seahawks are 20th. So the Chiefs are good across the board everywhere on offense except for turnover percentage, while the Seahawks are good at points per game and yards per play, but they've had trouble with keeping Geno Smith clean in the pocket. They have a high sack percentage, and they haven't been great in the red zone. So you want to see this week, and this week is another opportunity for the Chiefs defense to work on their red zone defense, which needs to improve. Defensively, looking at these two teams, the Seahawks are worse than the Chiefs defensively pretty well across the board, except for in turnover generation. So in terms of yards per play, the Chiefs are 12th, Seattle is 18th. In terms of points per game, the Chiefs are 19th in the NFL, while the Seahawks are 29th. The Seahawks have given up 25.4 points per game. In terms of getting after the quarterback, the Chiefs also do a much better job of that. They're 9th in pressure percentage, while the Seahawks are 23rd in pressure percentage. In terms of blitzing, the Chiefs blitz a decent amount. They've blitzed the 13th most in the NFL so far this season, while the Seahawks are 29th. So the Seahawks are not looking to blitz. They're looking to play coverage and get sacks that way. In terms of third down conversion percentage on defense, the Chiefs are 19th, while the Seahawks are 28th. And then red zone percentage, the Chiefs are 31st. So they got out of last place last week, but they're currently 31st, giving up a touchdown on 68.8 of their 68.8% of their red zone opportunities. While the Seahawks are 23rd, they've given up a touchdown on 60% of their opponent opportunities. What to watch for in this game? You want to see the Chiefs offense take care of the ball. So Seattle's defense ranks 8th in turnover percentage, while the Chiefs offense ranks 22nd. That's not a great matchup for the Chiefs. You want to see the Chiefs continue to work on taking care of the ball. They've been having issues with that, and that's one area where you want to see the Chiefs improve. If the Chiefs were to lose this game, I wouldn't be surprised if they had multiple turnovers. If they take care of the ball, I think they should win this one. Another thing to watch is the Seattle's yards per play offense versus the Chiefs' yards per play defense. So it's been very sneaky, but the Chiefs have the 12th best yards per play defense in the NFL. For some reason, that's not correlating with their points per game allowed, but I think that's why many of us have watched this team and we've seen that maybe the defense is a little better than what their points per game ranking indicates. So Seattle has the 8th best yards per play offense. The Chiefs have the 12th best. You want to be able to see the Chiefs limit the Seahawks' big plays in this game and make them work their way down the field slowly, hopefully resulting in a mistake, a penalty, a drop pass that ends up in a punt for the Seahawks. Next thing, key to watch for is the Chiefs' third down offense versus Seattle's third down defense. So the Chiefs have the number 1 third down offense in the NFL, and the Seahawks have the 28th ranked third down defense in the NFL. The Seahawks' passing defense has not been great statistically this year. So if the Chiefs can continue to move the chains on third down, it could be a long day for the Seahawks. And then lastly, you have the Chiefs' number 1 points per game offense versus Seattle's 29th ranked points per game defense. You want to see the Chiefs put up points in this game. They can do it versus this defense. It'll be cold. It'll be 21 degrees on Sunday, but that's no excuse. The Chiefs should be able to move the ball in this game, and the Seahawks have not been great defensively this year. In terms of predictions, Ryan is picking the Chiefs to win 28-17. Dan is picking the Chiefs to win 30-21. I'm picking the Chiefs to win 33-27. And Seth is picking the Chiefs to win 41-33. Thanks for bearing with me. I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm a little stuffed up. But what are your predictions for this game? What do you think the final score is going to be? Let us know in the comments. And then let us know if you have any interesting notes for this game. What do you think is going to happen? Other than that, that's all we got. Thank you for joining us for the Stat Primer. Make sure that you like and you subscribe if you like what you see here. Until then, go Chiefs. Let's beat those pesky